So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be solving two-step equations, and they're called two-step equations because you will need to do two mathematical operations on both sides of the equation in order to solve these equations. Okay, and I always like to put just a dotted line down the middle here just to reiterate that we always have a left side and a right side, and both sides need to be balanced or equivalent, meaning if the problem given to us has the left side is equal to the right side, then all the way down we must keep it equal. Okay, we're not dealing with inequalities where one side is bigger than the other or one side is smaller than the other. These need to be balanced on both sides. Okay, so let's go and take a look at our two steps here. And again, just from like we did in example 1, we want to do the same two questions. What operation is it doing, and what is its opposite? Okay, so check this out. We have 2 times the quantity n plus 5 equals -2. Now we need to get rid of the 2 and get rid of the plus 5. Okay, now which one do you do first? We would actually deal with this 2 first, and the reason for that is because if it's inside of the parentheses, I actually have to multiply 2 times n and 2 times 5 in order to get rid of the parentheses. Okay, and that's not what we want to do right there. We actually want to just go ahead and get rid of the 2 first and then get rid of the 5. Okay, so what operation is the 2 doing? Well, the 2 is being multiplied, so the opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So if I divide both sides by 2, then I have n plus 5 equals -1. Okay, and so that was my first step. Now, second step, I want to get rid of this plus 5. Well, the opposite of plus 5 is minus 5, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Those are gone. And so I get n equals -6. So notice that the equal signs line up, and every time that we do a new line, another term, the number is being eliminated. So when we went from here to here, the 2 was eliminated, and when we went from here to here, the 5 was eliminated. And then lastly, we have n equals -6. Now, how do we know that that is the correct answer? How do we know? Well, we can check our answer. And it's tedious at times, but you know what? You will know for sure that you got the correct answer. So we're going to go ahead and check our answer right here. So watch this. Let's go ahead and plug in. Let's replace n with -6 and see what happens here. So 2 times -6 plus 5 equals -2. So is it really true that the left side is equal to the right side? Well, 2 times -6 plus 5 is -1 equals -2. 2 times -1 is -2, and the right side is -2. Bing! We just checked our answer. You know, and your mama know that n equals -6 is the correct answer. No one can argue with you because you've checked your answer and it comes out to be correct. All right? For example B, we want to get rid of this 9, and then we want to get rid of this -7. Which one do you do first? Okay, so check this out. Should we divide everything by 9, or should we subtract? Or I'm sorry, should we add 7? Really, we should actually add 7. You say, well, like, man, okay, why did you divide here, but now you're saying we should add here? Because check this out, man. If we were going to get rid of this 9, then that means I have to divide both sides by 9. And watch what happens. Well, 9 divided by 9 cancels out. But wait a minute, you have -7 over 9. -7 over 9 equals -7 over 9. I mean, you could do this, except now we have a lot of fractions now. And then you're going to want to add both sides. Add 9/7 or 7/9 to both sides, so those cross out, and we get x equals 0. You say what? So let's see if we get that same answer by doing it the other way. 9x minus 7 equals -7. It would have been, in my opinion at least, easier if we first got rid of this -7. So on both sides of the equation, I'm going to add 7. So I'm going to add 7 and I'm going to add 7. Okay, so those are gone. I'm left with 9x equals 0. The opposite of multiplying by 9 is dividing by 9. So x equals 0. You'll get the same answer. One involves more fractions or one involves no fractions. So really there's not a particular preference really. I mean, we're going to get the same answer, but if you don't want to do fractions, you want to kind of look ahead and say, okay, I'm just going to add and subtract first, and then I'm going to divide this guy. Let's take a look at this guy over here. Negative 1 equals 5 plus x all over 6. Do we want to get rid of this 5 first or this 6? Well, really, this side actually means 5, 6 plus x over 6. Okay, those two are equivalent. So really, you can't get rid of the 5. You have to get rid of the 5, 6. Because really, this expression means 5, 6 plus x over 6. Okay, so I don't think we probably want to keep dealing with fractions. Let's do the least amount of fraction work. And so what I suggest we do is we get rid of the 6. And the way that we get rid of something is we say, what operation is it doing? Well, it's being divided, so let's go ahead and do the opposite of that operation. So let's divide this side by 6. So 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. And so those guys cross out, and I'm left with 5 plus x. I want to get rid of this 5, so what operation is it doing? It's being added, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And I get negative 11, and that equals x. Bam. And of course, checking your answer is always really, really nice. We'll check our answer right here for this guy. Is it true that negative 11 equals 5 plus negative 11 all over 6? Okay, so all I did right now is I replaced x with negative 11. Let's see if the left side equals the right side. So is negative 1 equal to 5 plus negative 11 is negative 6 all over 6. And is negative 1 equal to negative 6 divided by 6, which is negative 1? Bing! That is true. Whoop, there it is. So it does work. What about D now? All right, same thing. We have a two-step equation. Do we want to get rid of the 4 first or get rid of the 2? Okay, if you think about it, if I want to get rid of the 4, then that means I have to multiply both sides by 4, which is fine. That means you're going to multiply this by 4, that by 4, and that by 4. So I probably just want to get rid of this plus 2. It's probably going to make things just a tad bit easier. So I'm going to subtract both sides by 2. 6 minus 2, I get 4, and then I get a over 4, and those guys cross out. Now I want to get rid of this 4 right here, so it's a divided by 4, so the opposite of dividing by 4 is multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, and I get 16 equals a. And if that wasn't enough, we'll do one more example that has nice decimals, because we all love decimals and fractions, right? All right, so no big deal, right? Let's just do the same thing like we've always done. Let's go ahead and get rid of the 0.4 and get rid of the 3.9. Okay, we'll first get rid of the 3.9, so we'll subtract 3.9 from both sides of our equation. So those are gone, and now I have 0.4x. Always put your equal sign on this line right here. 5.78, subtract 3.9. And that's 1.88. 0.4x, so the opposite of multiplying by 0.4 is dividing by 0.4. So I'm going to divide by 0.4. And using a handy-dandy calculator, I get 4.7. And if you want to put that into the fraction, that would be okay as well.